Defence says that a British soldier killed in Afghanistan on Saturday was trying to defuse a Taliban bomb. The senior explosives expert was named today as 30-year-old Staff Sergeant Olaf Schmidt of the Royal Logistic Corps. His wife Christina said that she took comfort knowing that her husband had saved countless lives. But are we as a society doing enough to help those who risk their lives for us? Last year, according to official figures, 24,000 personnel left the armed forces in search of a job. The MOD says that within 12 months, 96% of these found employment. But despite that assurance, there's still much criticism of the lack of practical and financial support on offer. Hugh Andre is a former army officer who wants to help thousands of veterans find jobs. He argues that businesses in the UK have failed to appreciate former soldiers' skills and experience. He joins me in the studio. Thanks for coming in. Now,
thank you for having me.
I'm slightly confused by this because I looked at the Army website today and it made much of the opportunities that ex-soldiers and other servicemen would find. They get great education, great training, so why do they need your help?
I think let me be very clear. The MOD is doing a great deal to try and support their service leavers, but they're not a recruitment business. I think you'll find that figure, the percentage, actually reflects the amount of service leavers who signed on with the Inland Revenue. Now, to do what, I cannot answer.
So it's possible they're working in pubs?
It could be they were working in a pub, on a farm, and let's just think back to yesterday's Daily Mail. Corporal Finney, George Cross, who's been responsible for probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds of equipment.
This was the youngest George Cross ever, wasn't it?
The youngest George Cross ever. Working in a call centre. Now, no disrespect to call centres, but surely we can do more with someone with those skills and experience. I think if I can just highlight some numbers, 20 to 22,000 service leavers, on average, leave the armed forces every year. 10% of those are officers, 10% of those have to leave because they've been medically discharged. I look at that pool of talent. We've already invested a considerable amount of money to train them. They're flexible, they're bright, they work under fire, literally, they can adapt, they turn up for work on time, and I guess going sick for them is not really an option. So I think that we need to do more to assist them to make that transition and to utilise the skills and experience that they can bring to any size company in the UK.
So what does your company actually do? Because it sounds to me as though, in effect, you're a sort of employment agency for former service personnel. Is that it?
We are. I mean, our aim is threefold. One, to find the right jobs for service personnel, to essentially advise them on the skills that they have and how best to transfer those. When
you say the right jobs, can I just interrupt there? Because you know, it's pretty well known that a lot of service personnel, particularly those who've been in combat, come out damaged in all sorts of ways, not just physically damaged.
Sure.
Is it easy to place these people?
Yeah, it is easy, and there are those who are aircraft technicians, there are engineers, there are doctors, there are those who will clearly find jobs somewhat easier than others. But we're talking about highly professional individuals here, and we don't make any differential between those who have medical problems and those that don't. I've cycled to Paris earlier this year with servicemen and women who lost limbs with Help for Heroes. They want to be treated as equals.
What sort of response are you getting from British business? Because I would have thought on the face of it, this would be a pretty popular cause.
Yeah. So far, the response has been excellent. Companies like Morgan Crucible, Millennium Hotels, we've been in touch with. At the moment, we're still developing our business. We're developing the infrastructure to make sure that we can support the front office requirement. But what I would say is I would say to a lot of UK companies, look to America and how the American corporates treat their veterans. If you look at Walmart are investing a considerable amount of money, time. They even have a senior British Army officer actually designing their retraining program for veterans.
Now, your business, it's called ForceSelect, isn't it?
ForceSelect, that's correct.
It's not a charity.
Nope.
You're there to make money. How do you make money?
Effectively, we look at the size of a company's turnover. If you're a small family-owned concern in Sheffield, Leeds, Manchester, Glasgow, then essentially we will look at the turnover of your business, and effectively we charge a fee based on what you can afford. Our duty is to make sure that no companies are excluded, whatever
size. So you don't
size.
charge Tesco the same as you would charge a
No.
cake shop in Stoke-on-Trent?
No. Tesco's can afford to pay more. Tesco's have a sizable recruitment budget.
Now, the pool of former servicemen and women is massive. What
Yes.
kind of ex-service people make the best employees?
That's what makes the best. We have to find the right service men and women for the right role. Clearly we have those who go into security, those who go into logistics. Just this morning I had a US logistics company ring me up, say, love what you're doing. We use veterans a lot in the US. We've got 2012 to think about, and we want bright, adaptable, motivated staff working here.
It sounds a worthwhile task. Good luck.
Thank you
Many
very
thanks
much.
for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Now, today's numbers. The FTSE 100 closed up almost 60 points at 50.